Willie D Live.
For the first time in my life, I've realized we're in this generation where, these things that have been politicized, like abortion, are being politicized for talking points and no other reason than for politics and for actually doing the work of figuring out how to best serve the community.
Right. Well, you beat me to the punch because I was going to ask you, what is your stance on abortion? How do you feel?
Yeah, part of the thing about talking about abortion is that we've had a lot of, these white male leaders talking about it and leading the discussion, or people who don't understand the journey of being a mother talking about abortion in the abstract. And so I've come into the arena as a mother to talk about my stance on abortion personally. And, my stance is carrying a child is the most wonderful, sacred gift. Bringing new life into this world is transformative. We were just at a maternal home here in Houston where 3 babies who would these moms oftentimes are pushed to choose abortion because they don't have the means immediately to support having a child in that moment. But these maternal homes give a choice. So let's actually talk about choice, right? If I'm pro-choice, I want, the option for mothers who can't afford in that moment to have a baby, a choice to have that baby if they want to have that baby in that moment, and not be courted by an abortion clinic or courted by these government institutions saying, well, you're pregnant, you're not in means to have a child, so here's your abortion clinic. I think that we have to evolve our stance on choice right now. And, as a woman, and we're talking about these term limits, like everything in the conversation stuck on term limits for abortion. And I think let's just talk about it practically. Like, I've had, I'll share with you guys, like, I've had 2 miscarriages, one at 1 month and one at 3 months. And I'll tell you, the one at 3 months was way harder than the one at 1 month. Mm-hmm. And, every moment that goes by that baby is growing inside of you, we have to keep in mind that matters. Like, term limits do matter. And we have to live in a world in which we evolve systems that really actually increase choice for the mother. If a woman feels like their only choice is abortion, that's not pro-choice. I'm sorry, nothing about that is pro-choice.
Right. Right. And I think for me, for our community, now it's kind of like this notion, if you're poor, you're in poverty, then you don't need to have a baby, you need to have an abortion. But a lot of us grew up poor and in poverty. And mm-hmm. Not only did a lot of us grow up poor and in poverty, but a lot of us made it out of poverty. And that's not the side of the story that we're telling. And poverty actually created us, right? It created our mindsets, right? It made us be appreciative for certain things that we weren't just born, with a spoon in our mouth. So, poverty is not always a bad thing because a lot of us made it out of poverty. So for me, I was just tired of the excuse that a woman needs to abort because she's poor, because she can't afford to keep the baby. So coming into this space with Bobby and Nicole, and Bobby, who will let you know he's pro-choice, I think I won by helping them understand, right, that choosing to keep the baby is also a choice. And why is there so much funding going towards the termination of the baby, right? Because if the woman doesn't want the baby, she gets to go have an abortion and she's done. But if the father doesn't want the baby, he has to take care of the baby for 18 years. So my whole thing is, why are we giving so much money to a life that's not even going to be here, right? To one that's being terminated. That money should go to the woman that put her big girl panties on and said, you know what, this may be hard. I may be in it by myself, but I value the life of this kid and I'm going to try to do everything I can to raise this child. That's where the funding should go.